When do you punt on your lender? That's really an important question. And the answer is you punt at the same time as you would in a football game, is when the prospects of success don't look very good. And how can you tell when that is happening to you? Well, I'm McGee Wolf with the Wolf Group, and I want to discuss this with you because this is happening a lot. I get referrals, clients that had other experiences with other lenders, and they kind of fall into the same, the same box. And there are a lot of good lenders out there, but then there's some that aren't so good. And this is what they do. Now, one of the first signs is they can be pretty hard to communicate with. If you have a lender that you're calling, texting, emailing, maybe they won't give you their cell phone number. That's not a good sign. But you're trying to reach them and they're not responding in a timely manner. This is a huge transaction for you. They need to treat it with that kind of respect. So that's a red flag. It's not, maybe don't punt yet, but that's a pretty big red flag. But let me tell you what the really big red flag is a telltale sign that you need to punt. And that is if your lender kind of becomes evasive about the terms that you could expect in the mortgage. They don't want to talk about interest rate. They don't want to talk about their fees. They don't want to talk about your monthly payment. They might give you phrases like this: hey, the interest rate's really not important. The payment's the only thing that matters. And we won't know all of that until you're under contract or we're ready to lock your loan. If they're not willing to begin to address those matters with you right now, how can you possibly budget? If they give you some just kind of murky numbers, that's not a good thing. You want to see those numbers for yourself based on where the market is today. If they don't want to talk about the market, that's a red flag too. Most good lenders are kind of market geeks. We love talking about that kind of stuff. So you should be very, very prudent and listen carefully to what your lender is telling you. In our case, we have fees of $1,610. We don't have, and those fees are for processing and underwriting. We don't charge a separate credit report fee or an application fee of $500 or a doc prep fee. We don't stack up all these different fees. We tell people straight up when they ask, what are your fees? $1,610. Another thing that you need to be very careful of right now, and ask your lender about this, say, hey, what can you tell me about margin compression? Now, you might think, well, you don't know what that is. Well, honestly, it's a situation we're dealing with right now. Inflation is happening for sure, and therefore interest rates are going up. So what the investors are doing, where previously you could get a loan that had an interest rate that had a little bit of a lender credit that was available, could apply to the loan, that's not available right now. And all of the rates are kind of getting compressed to where the price that we have to charge, sometimes you have to get a discount fee allocated to your loan in order to get the desired interest rate. It is very prevalent across the board right now. So you should ask your lender about margin compression. How is that going to affect your interest rate? If they don't want to talk about it, you should punt. You should punt. So these are just a couple of indications that you need to be really sensitive to. What we do at the Wolf Group is after we have you pre-approved, we go through a comparison. You're going to get a presentation from us. Column 1 is the priorities that you had mentioned in our initial consultation, which takes place on day 1. We talk for 20 to 30 minutes to get an outline and structure of what's important to you. And then we show you a couple of other options, 2 or 3 other options for you to consider, maybe even 4. And then we begin to refine it down to where you know what your numbers are going to look like before you go shopping for a home. Very, very important. you need to be in touch with that so you can properly budget. Now, if you're a realtor looking at this, I would survey or really listen well to the feedback that your clients are giving you. And if you're in need of another lender partner who is, pretty forensic about all of this, like we are, we would love to have a conversation with you about it. Here's my email. You know how to reach me. We'd be happy to have that conversation to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. But the big priority is you should punt quickly if you start to see the signs that I had mentioned that you have a lender that's not communicating promptly and they won't communicate clearly about what your numbers look like. So I hope this helps. Please remember to like, share, and it's okay to mash that subscribe button. And always remember, have a great day.